Okay guys, so we're going to start on the 12-mark essay. Let's see, now I'm in an exam setting, okay, and this is how I'm going to break it down. I know it's a 12-mark essay, so I know I must have 3 main points. The question is asking me, how far do I agree with the statement? So I need to read the statement. Hitler's rise to power was due to the Treaty of Versailles. I know that due to implies that I need to talk about cause and effect. So already that tells me what are the things I need to explain. Hitler's rise to power is due to the Treaty of Versailles. Now, Treaty of Versailles is the given factor, okay, which means that I must talk about the given factor. And Hitler's rise to power here, this gives me, it gives me the topic, so it gives me what I should talk about. I shouldn't be talking about World War II, I must be talking about Hitler, okay. If I talk about the League of Nations, then it must be related to Hitler's rise to power, okay. So for example, right. So now I'm just going to sketch out a quick essay map based on what I've analyzed. Okay, I'm going to change color. So I'm supposed to look at the cause and effect, right? So naturally I have a cause somewhere here and I must have an effect somewhere here. Okay, and which one is this giving me? I am looking at was due to the Treaty of Versailles. So the Treaty of Versailles is obviously the cause, right? And the effect is, of course, Hitler's rise to power. So here, okay, I'm starting to think about what this means. And so I must be able to explain the Treaty of Versailles leading to Hitler's rise to power. That's if I say yes, okay? But I also know that when they're asking me how far, I need to consider every other factor, right? And I know I have 3 other factors, so I must have 2 other things that also contribute to Hitler's rise to power. So I go back to my question study. I say Hitler's rise to power. How many things did we study? There are 3 things, right? Hitler himself. 2 is the weakness of the Weimar government, and 3 is global circumstances. So if I look at this, if I go back to my plan, the Treaty of Versailles, what must it fall under? The Treaty of Versailles should fall under the weakness of the Weimar government. Why? Okay, because when we're talking about the weakness of the Weimar government, it's because they had to deal with the results of the Treaty of Versailles. Okay, so actually here I can talk about the Weimar government. I also know that I must talk about Hitler himself, as in his own and the Nazi party. And I also must talk about the global situation. Okay, the Great Depression and all that. So now I know that these are the 3 points that I need to explain. Okay, so now I need to start thinking about how do I craft my topic sentence. Yes, okay, I'm going to erase this so that I have more space to work with. Erase all. Nope. Okay, so just think about it. Now I know that these are my 3 points and I need to craft my topic sentence. And what must my topic sentence do? My topic sentence must indicate my stand as well as identify my main points, right? So this is what I am going to do. I need a stand. So what is my stand? My stand is, was the Treaty of Versailles, was Hitler's rise only due to the Treaty of Versailles? The answer is yes, it did, right? So yes, the Treaty of Versailles did contribute, right? Contribute to Hitler's rise to power. Now, if I leave my topic sentence as this, it is not complete because it does not address the fullness of the question. So how do I modify it? It's not yet the full truth, right? How is it a better answer? However, it was not the only factor. Okay, then I would say that global circumstances and Hitler's own political skill also contributed to his rise to power. Okay, so that is how my topic sentence would take shape. And how did I craft my topic sentence? Okay, let's have a look back at my thinking process. I studied the question, I figured out what it's asking me for, and then I started to figure out my 3 points. Okay, so these are the 3 points that I must talk about when I am trying to answer this question. So clearly my first point is going to be about the Treaty of Versailles. My second point is about Hitler himself, and thirdly I would talk about the global situation. So far so good? Okay, good. Of course, remember that you need evidence and so on and so forth. For the Treaty of Versailles, you must be very careful to answer that. Okay, what I would ask you to think about, what is the effect of the Treaty of Versailles? You cannot just say the Weimar government could not deal with the Treaty of Versailles. No, you must deal with how the Treaty of Versailles affects the Weimar government, and then eventually linking to Hitler's rise to power. Okay, the essay is not on the Weimar government, the essay is on Hitler's rise. Okay, so I'm going to erase all that again. Now, we were talking about, okay, so now we have our 12 essay, it's a 12-mark essay, right? I have 3 points, but I also still need to deal with my conclusion. And for conclusion, I can't just explain things and how they simply lead to Hitler's rise to power. Okay, so the unspoken question, hold on, give me a bit of time to erase this. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's much better. Okay, what we need to do is that we need to figure out whether or not, sorry, I say again. So right now my answer looks like this: yes, okay, and no. Yes, the Treaty of Versailles did cause Hitler's rise to power, but it's not only the TOV. I also have Hitler himself, the Hitler factor. Do not write Hitler factor, okay, and global circumstances, right? So I have these two. So what do I have to do now? The question asks me how far do I agree with the statement. So of course I agree, but not completely. So now you need to tell me what is the implication. Yes, Mr. Low, the Treaty of Versailles did cause the Hitler's rise to power, but then you have also presented me with 2 other factors. So what must you do now? The implied question is which carried the most weight. Okay, since you are giving me 3 different options, the natural question is which is the most important one. And this is what you need to figure out. So if you remember Jimmy the Camel and the pyramid of causation, we always have the trigger factor, okay, we have contributing, and we have underlying. Okay, so you can go and categorize them and start to figure out. Remember, conclusion is not repetition. Do not simply repeat your points back at me. Okay, let me give you a golden rule. Okay, hold on, I'm going to erase all the ink. Golden rule. Okay, golden rule should be in gold. Okay, never mind. You must never repeat yourself. You are wasting time and you're not saying anything new. Okay, always give me something new. So if you're going to write a conclusion, then it should tell me something that you have not already said. Can? Okay, so go forth, do your essay. Remember 3 points. Paragraphing. If you are going to submit soft copy, please use Arial, black font size 11, 1.5 line paragraph spacing. If you don't know how to do all this, go and Google how to format Google Docs. Also, may I remind you of the need of for capitalization, and of course, indent the first sentence of a new paragraph. That is all. Happy writing.